Hey everyone, Jennifer Lee Chan here. Thanks so much for tuning in to my YouTube channel and hanging in there. And it is rookie minicamp coming up this week. I head up there tomorrow, which is Thursday. I'll be up there Thursday, and we get to see them on the field for the first time on Friday. So I'll be definitely posting a lot of videos. So t stay tuned here. Also, I post a lot on Instagram, on Twitter, on Threads, on Blue Sky, basically everything except TikTok. I don't do that. But anyways, had a fun chance to talk to Sam Darnold today, and I did an interview of him, and he's partnering with Lowe's. His dad was actually still is a plumber, and so he has partnered up with Lowe's because he's helping connect with these kids who are already declaring what profession they're going to take on in their adult life. They're like 16, 17 years old. They are partnering with Lowe's to have a national signing day for what profession they want to and what trade they want to aspire to be. Pretty crazy. I had no idea what I wanted to do when I was 18, and here I am. So, anyways, had a chance to talk to Sam Darnold, and it was, just wishing him the absolute best. The 49ers will see him twice when they play Seattle. He is the quarterback for the Seattle Seahawks now, and he talked a lot about how his success in Minnesota really was a byproduct of his one season with the 49ers. He had been in so many different situations with the Jets, with Carolina Panthers. And being an SC alum as well, I always watched him and thought, man, if he had just gotten a good chance to be with a good team. And he really had that both in when he was the backup for Brock Purdy and then also when he went to Minnesota to be their quarterback last year. So just really fascinating about how he has progressed. And, he'll be on his fifth team with the Seattle Seahawks and, signed a big contract. And I wish him all the best because he's a great guy. He had so much talent coming out of USC, and I think that he's just gotten in some tough situations, being drafted by a team that didn't have good management, that didn't have great ownership, and you really can kind of see that. And while the 49ers have had their ups and downs, I think since Kyle and John have been at the helm in Santa Clara, I think Jed York has matured. I think the organization has become such higher quality. I think the standards are higher. They're obviously consistently in the postseason, but really having John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan at the top of the organization, I think means a lot to a lot of players. And it changes the way the organization is run. And Sam Darnold said, he's going to take a lot of what he learned with the 49ers with him for the rest of his career. He said, the way that all of the guys talk there, it was Brian Gracie, it was the Kubiaks, it was, the way Kyle Shanahan spoke about the game. He said they spoke about it in such an eloquent manner. And like so many different NFL veterans that have come into the 49ers locker room and spoken and listened to the way Kyle Shanahan breaks down games or game film, it really changed the way he visualize the game. And he said, just about the way they attack the defense, going through his progressions, he said it really elevated his game. And he owes so much to Kyle Shanahan and the organization and all of the coaches there for how his play has progressed. And obviously, we saw it. Didn't have the great playoff run, of course, last year, but throughout the season, I mean, Sam Darnold had an incredible season. He actually completed 361 passes for 4,319 yards, 35 touchdowns, and only 12 interceptions, 6.4 yards, 6.4 touchdown percentage. I just such a great season for him last year. Unfortunately, it just didn't work out as well in the postseason for him. But he did say, Brock also was a huge part of him progressing. And to hear what he said about Brock Purdy makes you understand why he's so good at his job, even though he was the last pick in the draft when he was drafted. Brock Purdy, he said, is just his poise and his preparation. The fact that Brock Purdy taught Sam Darnold about how to prepare better for the game of football, how to, be ready for everything that's coming at him to prepare for a game. I think that says a lot about Brock Purdy. He also said watching his mental state throughout a game. So score a touchdown, celebrate with your teammates on the field. Then you get back, you go straight to the bench, and it's the same demeanor. You're not that elevated celebration mentality. You dial back in and you prepare, and you're on the sideline working with the quarterback coach. So that's what Sam Darnold said was so impressive to him about Brock Purdy and, working with him. Brock Purdy said the same thing. He learned a lot from Sam Darnold, but I found it interesting to find out what Sam Darnold learned from Brock Purdy. Um, yeah, it taught him how to study. He said, showed him the ropes, and Brandon Allen as well, and he's going to use that for the rest of his career. So I thought that was kind of interesting. I also asked him about Christian McCaffrey because not only were they teammates with the 49ers, but they were teammates for Sam Darnold's 2 years in Carolina. And he said that Christian McCaffrey is the most internally motivated person he's ever met in his entire life. It doesn't matter whether they're losing, it doesn't matter whether they're winning, it doesn't matter whether he's unhealthy or dealing with an injury or completely healthy. He is the most motivated person he has ever seen, and that is the biggest benefit to, what he brings to the game. That he's that motivated. Pretty crazy. I mean, and Sam Darnold's been around some pretty motivated people. He's played on several teams in the NFL. He's played on a pretty good USC team. So I mean, his entire life. That's pretty impressive. But I mean, that's not a surprise finding out that Christian McCaffrey is like that because he's very intense like that. Even when we speak to him in the locker room after games, before games, during the prep week, not actually before the game on the game day, but fascinating. Um, Sam Darnold also gave a lot of credit to the 49ers defense, said that going against the 49ers defense every day at practice really prepared him to play against the best. And he said he loved the level of competition and, how they are. He said every rep for him at practice was so valuable. And not that it wasn't before, but I think when he had all the reps as the first team quarterback, the starting quarterback, all those years with the Jets, with Carolina Panthers, obviously kind of went up and down in the lineup. But he said it made him realize how important each rep was. And he took every rep against the 49ers defense like a game rep. And he said it was incredibly valuable. So taking that and taking it to Seattle and how he approaches the game. And he's, it's going to have an interesting season up there in the NFC West. He said he's already acclimated to Seattle and the people and he's happy to be back on the West Coast. But I just found it interesting how much he benefited for just that one season with the 49ers. It's always interesting to see what players that have been with the 49ers and then leave taking a look back now that he has a year of separation from that time when he was with the 49ers, how did it benefit him? What did he think about it? What, were the interesting things about it and what he took with him? So I'm really thankful to be able to talk to Sam Darnold. And again, we'll be going up to, I say we, but me, but all of us media, we will be talking to Robert Saleh tomorrow. That is the big meet and greet with Robert Saleh. It's his first time at the podium in his second stint as the defensive coordinator for the 49ers. And we'll also talk to the special teams coordinator. We'll talk to some players. And then on Friday, they'll be on the field working out. So we'll get to see the rookies in their uniforms. We'll see what numbers they're going to wear. And that'll be coming up in just a day or two. So hope you guys are all well. Leave me some questions and comments if you'd like me to talk about any rookie in particular. That's going to be the focus for the next couple days. And let me know what you think about what Sam Darnold had to say about the 49ers. I know there are some people there's a whole school of thought that thinks that Kyle Shanahan can't do it, that he can't win the big game. But I think that Kyle Shanahan's one of the best coaches out there. I've covered several of them, and I've talked to a lot of players, and they all believe in him. I don't think there's any coach, well, maybe Devondre Campbell, but I mean, I don't think there's any player out there that doesn't have respect for Kyle Shanahan and what he does as a coach. So if you're of that school of thought, you're welcome to leave a comment as well, but that's my thought. All right. Talk to you guys soon. More info on the rookies coming up real soon. I said soon way too many times, but anyways, you get what I'm saying.